Hi everyone, welcome back to 10th standard maths class. In the previous video, we have finished the section circle and quadrilateral. That means cyclic quadrilateral section we have finished and the problems also we have finished. Okay, now let's move on to our last section. Last section is two chords. Okay, let's start. In this chapter, last section is very important. Very important means I told you construction questions are there. 12 mark construction questions. Okay, so from this section you can expect that type of questions. Okay, construction questions. Now in order to learn all these construction questions, you need to learn some concept. So let's learn that concept first. Then only we can solve the problems, solve the proofs and to draw the figures. Okay, so let's start from the first concept. Look into the given figure. Here you can see that AB is a chord and also a diameter. Okay, AB is a chord and diameter here because O is the center. Similarly, CD also a chord and diameter because through the center. Now these two diameters are crossing each other. Okay, these two diameters are crossing each other. This is we already learned. When two diameters crossing each other means that two diameters are divided into four equal parts. From the center it is divided into four equal parts because OB, OD, OA, OC. That means all the four parts are equal because these two are diameters. Now we need to check that if these two chords are no diameters, what will happen? Okay, if these two chords are not diameters, other than diameters. Okay, two chords we need to consider other than diameters. Then when we join that, when we cross that to each other, what will happen? That we need to check. So let's consider this figure. So here in this figure you can see that two chords. Okay, AB is the first chord, CD is the second chord, and these two chords are not diameters. Okay, and these two chords are crossing each other. Okay, in a common point these two chords cross each other. Let's take that point as P. Okay, take that point as P. Now for the previous case, when two diameters cross each other, all the four parts are equal. But here a small change is there. From this point, okay, this is the first concept. Okay, when two chords cross each other inside the circle, it must be inside the circle. If it is so, the product of parts of chords will be equal. Product of parts. Product of parts means from the meeting point. Here P is the meeting point. So parts means for the chord AB. For the chord AB, from the point P there are two parts. PA is the first part. So PA into product. So PA into second part is PB. So PA into PB equal to, that will be equal to product of parts of second chord. Second chord means CD is the second chord. So CD's parts from the point P is PC. So PC into next is PD. So PA into PB equal to PC into PD. This is the first concept. Okay, you have to learn this. If two chords cross each other inside the circle, then the product of their parts will be equal. Okay, for example, if chord AB is 8 cm. Okay, chord AB is 8 cm and CD is 7 cm. Okay, chord AB equal to 8 cm and CD equal to 7 cm. These two chords are crossing at the point P. Now from this point P, the parts of AB as here 2 cm. A to P 2 cm. P to B 6 cm. Okay. Now in the CD chord, from P to C 4 cm. P to D 3 cm. Suppose it is like this. Then let's check. The product of these two parts will be equal. So here product, first chord AB, product of parts means 2 into, next is what, 6. So 2 into 6 equal to, the next chord's parts are 4 and 3. 4 into 3. 2 into 6 is what? 12. That is equal to 4 into 3, 12. So these two parts are equal. Product of the parts are equal. So this is the first concept. If two chords other than diameters are intersect inside the circle, then the product of the parts will be equal from the intersecting point, that is PA. PA into PB equal to PC into PD. This you need to by heart this. Okay, so this is the first concept. Now the second concept is, here also two chords we are considering. First one is chord AB, next is chord CD. Okay, these two chords are intersecting at the point P. Okay, P is the point here. Now our second concept, the rectangles formed by parts of each chord. Okay, the rectangles formed by parts of each chord, that rectangle's area will be equal. Okay, that means by considering the chord AB, here you can see PA is the first part, PB is the second part. Okay, when we use these two parts, you can draw a rectangle. Okay, you can draw rectangle. First side this one, now second side is PB. Okay, that means here this rectangle is by considering the parts of the chord AB. Okay, this side AP. Now these two sides, okay, these two sides are by using PB, and this side is the same as AP. Okay, so by using the parts of the chord AB, we got one rectangle here. Similarly, here in this rectangle, second rectangle is by using the parts of the chord CD. PC here, same PC in this side also. Okay, now these two sides are same as PD. Okay, these two sides are using PD. Okay, now based on our first concept. Okay, our first concept was what? PA into PB equal to PC into PD. This was our first concept, parts. Okay, PA, PB, then PC, PD. Now check first rectangle. First rectangle here, PA into PB. Rectangle's area is what? Length into breadth. Length into breadth is rectangle's area. Okay, so here length is what? This side. That is the same as PB. Okay, PB into breadth is what? Breadth is this, that is PA. Okay, so PA into PB, area is PA into PB. Now for the second rectangle, length is what? PC is the length. Okay, so PC into breadth is what? This side is the same as next part, that is PD. So PC into PD. So here also the same first concept we are using here. Okay, at that time also we will get the area, PA into PB equal to PC into PD. So these two rectangles area will be equal. This is the second concept. Third concept. For the third concept, here the first chord is diameter. Okay, here AB. AB is a diameter. That diameter AB is cut by a chord CD. Here CD is not diameter, only AB is the diameter. If it is so, same like the first concept, the product of parts of this diameter and product of parts of this chord will be same. Okay, in addition to that, one more thing is there. First of all, let's write the parts. So here it will be P. Okay, let's consider that point as P. So here PA into PB equal to PC into PD. Now here this is perpendicular chord. Okay, this is perpendicular chord. If it is perpendicular chord, we learn that perpendicular line will cut a line into two equal parts. That means PC and PD will be equal. Okay, PC and PD are equal. So let's rewrite the equation, that is PA into PB will be equal to PC into, instead of PD what we can write? Same PC we can write, because this is a perpendicular line. The diameter is a perpendicular line which cut the chord CD. That means from this point this chord is divided into equal halves, that is PC and PD are equal. So instead of writing PD we can write PC. So PC into PC. What is PC into PC? That is equal to PC square. Okay, so concept is, if a diameter is cut by a perpendicular chord, okay, if diameter is cut by a perpendicular chord, then product of parts of the diameter will be equal to square of half the chord. That means this chord's half portion is PC. Okay, out of that two chords, if one chord is diameter and another one is a simple chord, then the product of parts of the diameter will be equal to square of half the chord. Same PC into PD, since these two are same, we are using the square, that is square of half the chord. This is the third one. From the same concept, we can say that when we draw rectangles by using the parts of these portions, that means by using this chord AB, we can draw one rectangle there. That means AP is the length. We can use this PB as breadth. Okay, small length, no? So we can draw one rectangle like this. Okay, this rectangle's area will be same as, here we can draw one square. Why? Both are same. All the four sides will be same. That means the rectangle formed by parts of the diameter will be equal to area of the square. Okay, these two area will be equal. Here we won't get a rectangle because PC and PD are same measurement. That's why here we got one square. Okay, so area of this square and area of this rectangle will be equal. When it will be equal? If a diameter and a chord is cut within the circle. Okay, a chord and a diameter perpendicularly cut like this. Okay, then it will be same, then their area will also be same. That is the fourth concept. Okay, these four concepts are the important thing that you need to learn to draw the figure. Okay, for the construction questions, you need to learn all these four concepts. Now let's move on to problems. Page number 67, first question. Here is your question. In the picture, chords AB and CD of the circles are extended to meet at P. First sub-question, prove that the angles of triangle APC and triangle PBD formed by joining AC and BD are same. That is the first sub-question. Two more sub-questions are there. Let's do the first sub-question. Before that, let's draw the rough figure. In this question, our first sub-question is, prove that the triangles APC and triangle PBD formed by joining CA and DB have same angles. That is the first sub-question. But here we can't see any triangle. After joining CA and DB, we will get two triangles. So let's draw CA and DB. Join CA and DB, these two lines. After that, we can see two triangles here. One large triangle, that is triangle PAC, and triangle PBD. Okay, these are the two triangles. We need to prove that these two triangles have same angles. Okay, now in the circle, you can see one quadrilateral, that is ABDC. All the four vertices are on the circle. That means the quadrilateral ABDC is a cyclic quadrilateral. Okay, ABDC is a cyclic quadrilateral. As it is cyclic quadrilateral, its opposite angles will be what? Supplementary. Okay, supplementary angles. So let's consider this angle as x degree and this angle as y degree. Okay, this has x degree, this has y degree. Now we prove in a previous question that one angle and outer angle through the opposite vertex of that one. Okay, here angle C. So angle C's opposite vertex is B. Its outer angle will be here. That two angles will be equal. Okay, in a previous theorem we proved that. So this is y, means this will also be y. Okay, now this is x degree. So this is x degree means its opposite vertex is D here. Its outer angle will also be what? X degree. Okay, so here xy, here also xy. Now consider the triangle PAC. Okay, triangle PAC. Triangle PAC is one angle x degree, next angle also y degree. Now for the triangle PBD, for the second triangle also you can see one angle x degree, next angle also y degree, and this angle is what? Common angle. This is common to both the triangle. So we can say that these two triangles have what? Same angles. So this is the first sub question proof. Okay, just by considering the cyclic quadrilateral we can prove this. On first sub question is just prove that these two triangles have same angles. So we prove here. Okay, so this is the first sub question. Now the second sub question is prove that PA into PB equal to PC into PD. Okay, in order to prove this we can consider the first sub question. First sub question we prove that these two triangles have same angles. Using that we can prove the second sub question. Let's check how. In the first sub question we prove that triangle PAC and triangle PBD have same angles. Okay, same angles means in 9th standard we have learned that two triangles have same angles, then that two triangles are similar triangle. Okay, similar triangles. So here PAC and PBD are similar triangles, and lots of properties we have learned for the similar triangles. One of the property is the sides opposite to equal angles will be in the same ratio. Okay, the sides opposite to equal angles will be in the same ratio. So let's consider the first triangle first. Triangle PAC. For the triangle PAC, consider the side x. Consider the angle x. Okay, so PAC, here the angle, when we consider the angle x, its opposite side is what? Opposite side is PC. That is PC is to, for the second triangle means PBD, same angle is here, x degree. That's opposite side is what? PB. That is PC is to PB equal to, consider the next angle, that is y degree. For the larger triangle, y degree's opposite side is PA. So PA is to, for the second triangle, y angle is here. Its opposite side is PD. So PA is to PD. Okay, so by considering that concept, we got the sides opposite to equal angles. X degrees opposite side is PC. Then here x degrees opposite side is PB, that is here. Okay, next is y degree. Y degrees opposite side for the large triangle is PA, then y degree for the small triangle opposite side is PD. So PC is to PB equal to PA is to PD. Now we can write this ratio in the fraction form, that is PC by PB equal to PA by PD. Okay, now by cross multiplication, take this PD to this side and PB to this side. Take this PD to this and PB to here. So PC into PD equal to PA into PB here. So PB. Here PD and PB in the denominator. So come to the next side, it will be in the numerator. So PC into PD equal to PA into PB. Same we have to prove here. PA into PB equal to PC into PD. The same we got here. Okay, by considering similar triangle concept, we can prove this similar triangle concept. Okay, so this is a proof for the second sub question. Now the third sub question is prove that if PB equal to PD, then ABDC is an isosceles trapezium. That means outside the circle portion, if it is same, then inside the circle one quadrilateral is there, that is ABDC, that is an isosceles trapezium. That is we need to prove here. Okay, did we prove that triangle PAC and triangle PBD are similar triangles? Okay, so here in the question it is given that if PB equal to PD. If these two sides are equal. If these two sides equal means the complete side will also be equal. Okay, that means AB and DC will also be equal. These two parts will be equal. That means these two are similar triangles. That means PA equal to PC. Okay, the remaining these two portions will also be equal. If PB equal to PD, we can say PA equal to PC. Now, for the larger triangle PAC, if PA and PC, these two sides equal means this will be an isosceles triangle. Okay, isosceles triangle. That means if here it is x degree, this angle will also be what? X degree. Okay, these two angles will be x degree. Now, according to the outer angle concept, that means here it is x means angle B. This is the outer angle through the opposite vertex of C. That means here it is x means this will also be x degree. And here also x degree. That means this will also be x degree. Angle A through the opposite vertex, that is D. Outer angle is what? X degree. Okay, these two will be equal. These two will be equal. Now this x degree, this is x degree. Then what will be this angle? This will be 180 minus x degree. Okay, linear pair or by considering the cyclic quadrilateral. Any two way you can apply. So here x degree means this will be 180 minus x. And here it is x means this will also be what? 180 minus x. Okay, 180 minus x. Now consider the same angles in the same side. Angles in the same side. Isosceles trapezium means sum of the angles in the same side must be what? 180 degree. Okay, so here angle same side angle means angle A and angle B. So x plus 180 minus x. What is the sum? X and x we can cancel. So answer is 180 degree. For the next side also x and 180 minus x, the same answer we will get. Okay, so sum of angles in these two sides are what? 180 degree. That since angle between these two lines are same, we can say that CA and DB are parallel also. Okay, here these two angles equal, here these two angles equal. That means CA and DB are parallel also. Okay, that means we can say that this is an isosceles trapezium. Okay, this is an isosceles trapezium. This is the third sub question's proof. Next is question number 2. Draw a rectangle of width 5 cm and height 3 cm. Two sub questions are there. First sub question is draw a rectangle of the same area with the width 6 cm. Okay, first of all we need to draw a rectangle with a measurement as 5 and 3 cm. For the first sub question we need to draw another rectangle with the same area. Condition is its width must be 6 cm. Okay, so let's draw the rectangle first. This is a rectangle with a length as 5 cm and breadth as 3 cm. Okay, rectangle A, B, C, D. Now, question is draw another rectangle with the same area as that of this rectangle. Okay, same area, whatever be the area. Area here it is what? 5 3s are 15. Okay, 15 centimeter square is the area of this rectangle. Okay, we need to draw another rectangle with the same area as 15 centimeter square with one side as 6 centimeter. That means breadth as 6 centimeter, breadth or length as 6 centimeter. Okay, one side is given, that is 6 centimeter, and the next side is not given. Okay, but we must get an area as what? This area, that is 15 centimeter square. So method is, first of all, extend this line AB. Okay, listen carefully, very important question. First of all, extend the length AB towards this side. Okay, with the measurement as height, that is 3 centimeter. Okay, this 3 centimeter, the exact height 3 centimeter, you need to extend from the point B towards here. Okay, like this. Take this point as E. Okay, A, B, C, D. Next as E. So this is 3 centimeter line. This is the first step. Okay, extend the height towards this side along with the AB. These two lines must be in the same line. Don't deviate, no slanting. Okay, straight line must be here. That is 5 plus 3, 8 like that. After that, for the new rectangle, we need one side as what? 6 centimeter. Okay, so that 6 centimeter you need to extend downwards along with the line CB. From this CB you need to extend 6 centimeter. So using scale, already 3 is here. In addition to that 6 centimeter we need, that is 6 plus 3, 9. So from this line extend up to the 9. Okay, like this. Here it is 9, sorry, total 9, that is 6 centimeter. Okay, 6 centimeter is BP. Let's take this point as P. Okay, so PB is 6 centimeter. Now the next step is join these two endpoints, that is A and E, to the point P. Okay, that is E to P and A to P. Join these two points like this. Okay, so PE and AP we got two lines. Next step is draw the perpendicular bisector of these two lines. Draw the perpendicular bisector. You know how to draw the perpendicular bisector by measuring more than half of the desired line. So here PE. First let's draw the perpendicular bisector of PE. For that, keep the pinpoint at the point P, measure more than half, then draw two arcs in the upper side and in the lower side. Okay, so keep the pinpoint at the point P, draw one arc here, then with the same measurement one arc in the down portion. Okay, without changing the position, draw another two arc from the point E, because we are considering the line PE. Okay, keep the pinpoint at the point E, one arc here, then another arc here. Okay, so you will get 2 points, one point here, one point here. Join that 2 points. That is the perpendicular bisector of the line PE, like this. Next, in the same way you can apply here for the line AP, perpendicular bisector of AP also we need the same. This you will get, okay, two perpendicular bisectors, and you can see that these two perpendicular bisectors are joined at a common point. Okay, cross a common point. This is the point. Take this point as O. Okay, take this point as O. So this is the center of the circle, that we are going to draw. So again take your compass and take this point as center. Take this point as center. Keep the pinpoint at this center point, and from this O to A and O to E as the radius. Okay, so O to A, keep the pinpoint at the center point, then keep the pencil point at A like this. Okay, then draw a semicircle in the upper portion. Okay, draw a semicircle in the upper portion like this. Okay, only semicircle is enough, no need of complete circle. Okay, so from the point O as the center, OA as the radius, and OE as the radius, we draw one semicircle. Now you can see that the semicircle cut the height of the first rectangle at this point. Okay, this is the point. Cut the height at the point here. Let's take that point as Q. Okay, take that point as Q that you can choose. Okay, no issue. So from this B to this point, that is Q, BQ will be the next measurement of the rectangle. That means first measurement already given in the question, that is 6 centimeter. We need one more measurement, then only we can draw the rectangle. So that measurement is inside the semicircle. Okay, from the point B, to Q. That means the semicircle where that semicircle cut the rectangle's height, up to that point will be the new measurement. Okay, so here BQ is the next measurement, length of the new rectangle. So using scale, measure that. Okay, don't use scale. Using compass, measure from B to Q. Okay, measure from B to Q. Now already 6 centimeter we drawn here. Okay, so measure BQ, then from B to this line we can draw that side. Okay, here. Okay, so this is the point. Up to this is enough. Okay, same Q we can consider here. Okay, so BQ we draw here. Now from this Q 6 centimeter here, from this P also we need this measurement. Same like the method to draw rectangle we can apply here. That means the same BQ we need here also. Okay, 4 side we need. Okay, 2 side with the same BQ and 2 side with the same side BP. Next, measure 6 centimeter. Measure 6 centimeter. Then draw another arc from the point Q to this line. Like this. Okay. After that, join Q to this point and P to this point. You will get one rectangle. Okay. So this is the rectangle. Let's take this point as R. Okay. So QR. PBQR is a rectangle with the same area as of ABCD. Okay, this rectangle ABCD's area and this rectangle PBQR's area will be same. Then shade this region. Okay, this is a rectangle that we need to draw. Okay, so this is a method. Learn properly. Very important question. Okay. So rectangle PBQR is a required rectangle. So this is a method. If you have any doubt, you can check. This PP is 6 centimeter. When you measure this length BQ, you will get 2.5 centimeter. When we multiply this 6 and 2.5 centimeter, you will get the same answer, 15 centimeter. That means 5 3s are here 15. Here also you will get it as 15 centimeter square. If you have any doubt, you can check using calculator. Okay. Now the second sub question is, draw a rectangle of length 5 centimeter and breadth 3 centimeter. Okay. Now draw a square of same area of this rectangle. Okay. We need a square with area as 15 centimeter. Here area is what? 5 into 3, 15 centimeter square is the area. The same area we must get for the square. So in order to get area as 15 centimeter square, what will be the length of the square? Area we need as 15. Okay, area equal to 15 centimeter square we need. Okay, now area 15 centimeter square means square we need to draw. So square means when we will get 15 centimeter square as answer square. A square is the equation. So A square must be 15. Side square must be 15. That means the side will be what? Square come to this side, it will be root 15. That is A must be root 15. That means one side must be root 15. Okay. But to draw root 15, it is not possible using scale. Okay. So for that, method is somehow it is the same like this method. Okay, first step is the same, that is extend this height 3 centimeter here. Okay, the same height you need to extend here from the line AB, extend 3 centimeter. So extend like this. Here it is 3 centimeter. Okay, 5 into 3, 15 centimeter we draw. Next is what? Here the method is very easy compared to the first one. This is very easy. Here total 8 centimeter line we got. From A to E, here we have 8 centimeter line. Now we need to find the midpoint of this line. Okay, midpoint. Here it is even number, 5 3s are 8. Total means 4 centimeter point will be the midpoint. If in another case, for example, if 8.5 is the total measurement, it is difficult to find the midpoint using scale. Anyway, perpendicular bisector is the better way to find the midpoint. Okay, so the next step is find the perpendicular bisector. Draw the perpendicular bisector of this line AE. Okay, perpendicular bisector method you know. by measuring more than half. From the point E, measure more than half, draw one arc in this side, another arc in lower side with the same measurement. From the point A also draw one arc, draw another arc here and complete the perpendicular bisector. Okay, after drawing the perpendicular bisector, you can see the midpoint. So this is the midpoint. Now take that midpoint as O. Okay, this is the center. Take that point as O. Okay. After that, O as the center. Okay, consider that center O as the center point. That is, keep the pinpoint of the compass at O. Then keep the pencil at the point A. That means O to A is the radius and O to E is the next radius. Okay, then draw a semicircle like previous case. Semicircle in the upper portion. That is from the point O to A. O to A is the radius. O to A and O to E will be equal. Okay, using compass, draw a semicircle like this by taking this O as the center and OA as radius and OE as radius. You can draw one semicircle like this. Okay, in the upper portion. Now the next step is this height, that is 3 centimeter height BC, just extend towards up as it is meet the semicircle. Okay, up to the point, the semicircle's point. Okay, just extend, don't extend from the bisector. Okay, always most of you are making mistake like this. Okay, don't consider this perpendicular bisector as a line. Perpendicular bisector is just to find the center point. Okay, after getting the center point, leave it. Okay, no need to use that. Next step is from the height point you need to extend. Okay, towards the semicircle you need to extend from the point B. Always consider the base point, that is first point A and second point as B. Then you can avoid that mistake. Okay, so just extend from the point BC up to this point. So you will get one point here. Okay, this point. This is the length for the square. Okay, that means root 15. This B to this measurement, this point, this measurement is root 15. By taking this as one side, you can draw a square. You need to use a compass for that. From the point B, measure up to the point C. BC, just measure, draw one arc here, then one extend this line. Okay, then only you will get that line, or you can draw in the down portion also, no issue. With the same measurement from the point, this point. Okay, let's take that point as P. Okay, take that point as P. Now from the point P, with the same measurement as this measurement, one more arc you need to draw here. Okay, one more arc. Then from this point also one arc like this. Okay, then join all the points. Already BP is here. This is the second side, this will be the third side, this will be the fourth side. Okay, this is a square with the same area as 15 centimeter square. Let's mark this point as Q and this as R. So B, P, Q, R is a required square. Okay, BPQR, that square's area is the same as 15 centimeter square. That means each measurement is root 15. This is root 15. Here it is root 15. Here also root 15. That means from R to B, from B to P, that also root 15. Okay, the same method you can apply in so many questions. Okay, that means if question is draw a square of area 12 centimeter square. For example, draw a square of area 12 centimeter square. So 12 centimeter square area means what? Side will be root 12. Then only we will get 12 centimeter square as area. Okay, that is root 12 into root 12. Root 12 into root 12 is 12. So side must be root 12. By using scale, it is not possible to measure root 12. We don't know exact value of root 12. In 9th standard, we have learned that this is what new number we have learned now. that type of numbers. That means the exact measurement we don't know, approximate value only will be for these type of numbers. So here in order to draw root 12 we can apply this measurement, same like root 15. Method is here you can split the number. Okay, you can split this 12 like 12 equal to 4 into 3. Okay, 4 into 3 or 6 into 2. Any two way you can use. 4 into 3 is better. Okay, so method will be same like this. Here 4 into 3, that means for a rectangle you can take this length as 4 cm, breadth as 3 cm, same like this. Instead of 5 and 3 you can use 4 and 3. 4 cm here, 3 cm here. Then you can use the same way. Just extend 3 cm, then find the midpoint. From that midpoint, take the point as a center, take the end point as radius, draw a semicircle, then extend the portion. Then you will get root 15. Inside that semicircle portion, from the point B to up to the point that semicircle's point, that will be root 12. Okay, similarly, if question is draw a line of length root 12. Suppose question is draw a line of length root 12 centimeter. Root 12 centimeter. Then also you can use this step. Okay, use this method. Here in that case no need to draw a square. Okay, just root 12 centimeter means up to this. In this step you can stop. This is root 12. Like that you can stop. No need to continue. Okay. Now suppose the question is draw a line of length 2 root 12. Okay, 2 root 12. Then you need to complete the square. Instead of semicircle you need to draw a complete square. We'll show you. Like this you need to draw a full circle. Okay, instead of that semicircle you need to draw a full circle. Now here B to R is root 15. Now when we extend this B to this side, a straight line if we are extending like this, the next measurement will also be what? From B to this point also will be what? Same, root 15 will be. Okay, from here to this point will also be root 15. So total will be what? From B point to upper semicircle root 15. From B point to lower semicircle also root 15. Then together it will be 2 root 15. Okay, in that case also you can use this method. So one method for so many questions. Root 12 centimeter square area, 12 centimeter square. Then you can apply this. If the question is like draw a line of length root 12, like that also you can apply. Then 2 root 12. At that case also you can apply this method. Okay, all these questions are not in textbook. I just explain because questions will be there for the exam. Okay, sure. These two are very important one. Okay, so learn properly. Hope you understood. Thank you. See you in the next video.